right, let's talk about canvassing, knocking on doors. Why do we do it? What happens when we do it? And is it as awful as it sounds if you're someone who's never done it before? The answer is no, it's not awful. It's awesome. Let me tell you why we do it, what you can expect when you show up for your first shift, and some of the stuff you may worry about that you don't need to worry about. So the reason that we canvass or knock on doors is because it is the most effective form of voter turnout that we have. Other than talking to friends and family, that's relational organizing, and that is the gold standard. But in terms of talking to strangers, nothing works better than knocking on doors. It can literally change the outcome of elections, and it does all the time. So that's why you're doing it. So let's say you've signed up for a canvass and it's your first time. What's it going to look like? Well, you're going to get to the place where they tell you to come, and you'll see a bunch of other people there too. And there will be tables with literature and snacks and sunscreen and stuff like that. They're going to get you to download an app where you're going to be getting your information about which doors you're going to knock on. Then someone from the campaign will do a training. Occasionally you'll get to meet the candidate themselves, and they'll also give you some lit or literature to give out. Now, we've talked about that app they're going to give you, and when you log in, you're going to see a list of your houses or apartments that you're going to be knocking on, and these are registered voters who are mostly going to be Democrats. You'll know their party, you'll know their name, their age, and all that stuff before you ever talk to them. These campaigns don't want to waste your time or their time. They want you talking to voters who at least stand a chance of supporting their candidate. So they are not going to send you to knock on a door if they think that person is a hardcore Republican. They might send you to talk to some declined to state or independent voters, but I am almost never going to get sent to a Republican's door when I go canvass. And you also always have the option of skipping a door if you see an R next to a person's name. It's okay to do that. It really is. So you're going to get your app and you're going to get partnered up. This is another important point because people worry so much. I don't want to go out by myself. I'm not going to feel safe. You never have to go alone unless you're a weirdo like me and you like to go alone. But most people are going to get partnered up, and if you're new to canvassing, they're going to put you with someone who's done it a bunch of times before. Another really important thing to know is that you are not expected to know a bunch of policy stuff. First of all, most people at the doors don't really want to talk about policy that much. You'll have some talking points that the campaign give you. In fact, you'll have a script, which I barely ever use, but you're mostly just going to be talking about general Democratic versus general Republican values, which most people kind of know. It's also totally okay to say, I don't have the answer to that, but I'm going to make a note to have the campaign contact you. And I've done that many times. You're also going to find that mostly people want to talk about stuff that you have ready responses to. They're going to want to talk about reproductive rights or the division in our country or something that you'll be like, yeah, I feel that way too. Because again, remember that mostly you'll be talking to people the campaign thinks are likely to be supporters. Well, then you may say, then why am I bothering to talk to them? Because just because they may be supporters doesn't mean they're going to go out and physically vote if they don't get a little encouragement. And that's what we're doing. And we're also passing back what we learned to the campaign through entering data in the app. And here is the final thing I want to tell you, is that canvassing is outside of the comfort zone for most people. I know it was for me when I first started going. It's really scary. And yet when you go, at least in my experience, and I've done this probably literally hundreds of times, I have found it to be a delightful, human, beautiful experience. I have gone to all different kinds of neighborhoods. I've seen people's gardens. I've met their pets. I've met their children. And almost without exception, people are not mean at the doors. They may not answer their doors. They may talk to you through a Ring camera, but they're not mean. And sometimes they are so unbelievably nice and appreciative and happy that you've come. I've had all kinds of experiences that were memorable and beautiful. Knocking doors is a deeply humanizing and community-based experience. You are going to love it. Go and try it one time. You might find you like it so much that you'll want to do it again. And thank you for everything you're doing to help us save our country.